Hey guys, I hope you've been enjoying the videos. It's been kind of fun to do. Uh, as I said in the email that I sent you earlier, it's really weird doing this and recording yourself, but I hope they've been helpful. Thanks to those of you who've sent through encouraging comments. Well, the email that I sent through I hope was quite detailed, and I hope that you found that helpful in just thinking through what Sunday is going to look like. But again, I just want to talk a little bit more about what we're trying to achieve, what we're trying to aim for on Sundays, or just in our youth ministry in general. And so the question I think that we need to answer is, what does it look like for us to go, yes, our youth ministry is successful? And so we're going to call these wins. And so I've got 3 wins for us to be looking for that I want to share with you today. And the first win is the big win, the overarching win. What is the big win that we are looking for in our youth ministry here at St. Andrew's Church? And I think the big win is this, that when a teenager takes a step forward in their faith, that's a win. And that's the big win that we are aiming for. Now that's going to look different for each student. What does it look like for one student to take a step forward in their faith? What does it look like for another student to take a step forward in their faith? That's going to look different for each student. One could be spending 5 minutes in the Bible a week, and another person could be spending 5 minutes every day in the Bible. The 2 different responses, but they're both wins depending on where each one started from. So our big win is when a teenager takes a step forward in owning their own faith. That's what we're looking for. That's what we want to try and do. But briefly, just in 4 categories, that might look like spending time with God, spending time with others who are also Christians, who are also growing. And so even on Sunday we start the series Finding Friends, and really looking at what a good friends look like. They're going to help us in our walk with Jesus. That they're using their gifts, and that could be in the worship team, that could be helping out with the audiovisual equipment, that could be helping to welcome, that could be helping in your small groups. Maybe there's kids in your small group who are quite creative, and they can think through ways of adding to your group time. Maybe they can do a game for you each week, and maybe they can help lead your lesson. When kids start to use their gifts, and when we help them to figure out what those gifts are, that's a win. Also, when they start to share their story, when they start to understand who they are, who God has made them to be, how the gospel has impacted their life, how they are growing and changing and loving and serving and following Jesus, when they can begin to articulate that, and not in a perfect way, but when they can begin to share their story of following Jesus, that is a win. So those are the kinds of things that we are looking for, and that's what we can say when we look back at the end of the year and go, yes, this has been a successful year, this has been a successful youth ministry. So we count it a win whenever a student takes a step forward in owning their faith, and that could look different for each student. Remember these 3 things. Discipleship is about, it's a living experience. It's not just the tick boxes, it's a living experience. And the discipleship is going to happen in community. That's why I'm so keen that our small groups spend that time getting to know one another and being that community. Saying that, we're going to be looking at this in more detail at the Breakaway camp on the 14th and the 15th of October. Please put that in your diaries. We're putting together all the information the rest of this week and next week, and trying to get that out ASAP. It's going to be from Saturday afternoon from around 2-3 o'clock to Sunday afternoon the same time, just a little bit under 24 hours, about 23 hours. It's a short camp, but just enough time for us to get away, go sleep somewhere else. And then the topic we're going to be looking at is community. We've called it Tribe, and we look at just through 3 sessions. And Sharton's going to join us. Ambassador Church may possibly join us. But what does it look like for us to live and be in community together? We are the tribe of the one. We'll be getting a video out later today to start advertising that. So discipleship happens in community, and then for us to remember that discipleship is a process. They don't have to get it. You don't have to get everything right away. It is a process, and for all of us, it is a process. It's good for us to remember that we're not perfect, we're fallen, but every day, slowly, but surely, we are becoming more like our Savior, Jesus Christ. The second win I want to share, we've looked at the big win. The second win that I want to share with us is a win in our small groups. What does it look like to win in our small groups? And this is the win. Small group leaders win when they build relationships with teenagers and then help them build relationships with each other. So there's a theme there. You can see that community theme is coming together. But if you spent a whole year in small groups with your teenagers and you have zero relationship with them, that's when you need to start thinking, actually, what am I, how am I doing this? Am I committed to try and building and initiating these relationships? And so that's the question you really have to ask yourself, and that's what's going to take time in your week. I think the only thing we really ask you to prepare for when it comes to your small groups is how am I going to initiate those relationships? How am I going to be able to talk and share and build up that time with our teenagers? So stuff that we've shared before is get to the point where you are praying with them, where they're willing to share prayer points. Small things like remembering what they've said to you, and you can ask them in the week on WhatsApp, or you can ask them on Sunday, hey, how is X situation going? I remember you told me this last week. I've been praying for you. Have things improved? How are things going? How can we continue to pray? How can I continue to help you? Those kinds of things are where we want to be going in our small group, building those relationships, getting deeper with them, so they're not just shallow relationships where they come. And we often hear this thing, we don't want youth group to be like school, and I'm completely with you on that. And I think small group is one of the key places where that mustn't be the case. Whereas I think a lot of school learning is I speak, you listen. Actually, in small groups, there needs to be a lot more dialogue, a lot more discussion, a lot more allowing them to open up and to share. And then again, like we said yesterday, the direction that you're going to help them make sense theologically, biblically, clearly, and then alongside that, the affection that you have for them, that I hope you will have for them. So that's the win for small groups. And then the last one is just for all of us as we welcome kids in on Sunday. We're going to have regulars, we're going to have the old people, but we're also going to have new kids as well. And the big win for us when we welcome and when we greet them is that we make a teenager coming in on a Sunday morning or a Friday night feel welcome and liked. It is so important that a teenager feels welcomed and liked, that they know they are welcome here, that it's not awkward for them, that it's not something they don't look forward to, but when they come in, they'll see smiling faces, they'll see familiar faces, they'll see faces they're comfortable with, that they know they're welcomed and they know they are liked. Those are just 3 wins that we can be looking at, that we can be working towards, so we make sure that our youth ministry is a good youth ministry, a successful youth ministry, and one where our young people are learning to follow and love Jesus. Thanks, guys. I've really enjoyed doing these. Charles is going to do the ones tomorrow, and he'll do chapters 3 and 4 of gospel-centered youth ministry. He's far better than I am at being clear and concise, and then we'll see what happens on Friday. If you have any questions, please send them my way, and it'll be great to get into them. I love you guys a lot. I'm praying for you, and see you on Sunday. Ciao.